Ladies and gentlemen, I have a message for you today that will set you free if you receive it. Too many people in this world are living in fear, anxiety, and worry. They wake up worrying. They go to bed worrying. And even in their sleep, they are troubled. They worry about money, relationships, careers, the future, their health, everything. But let me ask you, what has worrying ever solved? Worry is a thief. It steals your peace, your joy, your focus, and even your destiny. But today, I have good news for you. Sardo stop mo agenda star. Just go the has a plan faro. You are not an accident. Your life is not random. You were designed by the Creator with purpose, and no circumstance, no failure, and no challenge can erase that purpose. The question is, will you trust the plan? 7 key principles. Your future is already secured. Your future is already secured. Do you hear me? I said, your future is already secured. Before you took your first breath, before you opened your eyes, before you even knew who you were, your purpose was already written. You are not an accident. You are not lost. You are not wandering through life without direction. You are right where you need to be, because the one who formed you already designed your path. But here's the problems. Too many of us are living in fear. We wake up afraid, go to sleep anxious, and spend our days worrying about what's next. We act as if we are at the mercy of the world, as if our destiny is being decided by circumstances, by people, or by our past mistakes. But let me shake your spirit today. Your future is not determined by what you see, but by what has already been spoken over your life. Think about this. When an architect designs a building, he finishes the blueprint before a single brick is laid. The workers may not see the final result, but the architect does. The construction may take time. There may be delays. There may be unexpected weather conditions. But the final structure is already decided. It's not being made up along the way. And that's exactly how your life is. The blueprint of your future is already designed. It may take time. There may be setbacks. There may be storms. But the final outcome is already secured. So why are you worried? Why are you losing sleep over things that are already under control? You are looking at the chaos, but the master planner is looking at the finished product. You see a roadblock, but he sees a detour that leads to something even greater. You see a delay, but he sees preparation. Stop trying to rewrite what has already been written. Stop panicking over things that are already handled. Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a pilot worrying mid-flight? Have you ever seen him step out of the cockpit, pacing up and down the aisle, biting his nails, asking passengers, "Do you think we'll make it?" Of course not, because the pilot trusts the instruments. He trusts the navigation. He knows that even if turbulence comes, he's still on course. And yet, here we are, passengers in life, panicking, doubting, questioning, acting as if the flight is doomed when the destination is already confirmed. Let me tell you something. Your life is not out of control. Your steps are already ordered. The very thing you are worried about has already been taken care of. You are fighting battles that have already been won. You are stressing over doors that have already been opened. You are crying over situations that have already been resolved. You just haven't seen it yet. And that's the real issue, isn't it? You want to see it first. You want proof. You want a confirmation email from heaven saying, "Don't worry, everything is going according to plan." But that's not how it works. You don't walk by sight, you walk by faith. Faith is trusting the process, even when you can't see the progress. Faith is believing the architect, even when the building is just a foundation. Faith is sitting on the plane with your seatbelt fastened, knowing the pilot has already mapped the course. So, let me ask you today, what are you worried about? Your finances, your career, your relationships, your future. Do you think that because you can't see the answer, there isn't one? Do you think that just because you don't have a way, there is no way? Listen to me. The plan is bigger than what you see. The process is greater than what you understand. And if you could just shift your focus from the problem to the promise, from the chaos to the Creator, from the uncertainty to the ultimate plan, you would find peace beyond understanding. Some of you are standing at a locked door, banging on it, crying, pleading, begging it to open, thinking that this door is the only way forward. But what you don't realize is that there's a door behind you, wide open, waiting for you to walk through. You're so focused on what isn't working that you don't see what is. You're so obsessed with your own timeline that you don't realize the delay is protecting you from something you don't even know about. What if I told you that your struggles were not a sign of failure, but a setup for something greater? What if I told you that the pain you're feeling now is the process of your promotion? Diamonds don't form without pressure. Gold isn't purified without fire. And destinies aren't fulfilled without trials. You're in the middle of the process, but the process is not the final picture. Let me make this practical for you. Have you ever put a puzzle together? At first, all you see is a mess of scattered pieces. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't look like the picture on the box. But as you stay patient, as you keep putting the pieces together, suddenly the picture begins to form. Some of you are frustrated because all you see are pieces. But I came to tell you, the picture is forming. The plan is unfolding. You just have to trust that every piece has its place. So today, I challenge you, let go of your worry. Let go of your fear. Stop acting like your future is uncertain when it has already been secured. You are not in control. And that is the best news you could ever receive. Because if it was up to you, you might mess it up. But because it is already designed, already mapped out, already prepared, you can step forward with confidence, knowing that nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what has been planned for you. The only thing that can stop you is you. Your doubt, your fear, your hesitation. But today, you have a choice. Will you live in worry or will you live in faith? Will you panic over every little setback? Or will you trust that even the setbacks are part of the setup? I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what storm you're facing. But I do know this. If you can just trust that the one who created you already secured your future, you can walk with a boldness, a peace, a confidence that nothing can shake. Because at the end of the day, no matter what happens, your future is already secured. Worry is a sign of distrust. Worry is not just an emotion. It is a silent declaration of distrust. When you worry, you are making a statement, whether you realize it or not. You are saying, I don't believe things will work out. You are saying, I don't think my future is secure. You are saying, I don't trust that there is a plan for me. Worry is not just a habit, it is a mindset. It is a stronghold that keeps you imprisoned in fear, stress, and anxiety. And the worst part, it changes absolutely nothing. Think about it. Has worry ever solved the problem? Has worry ever put money in your bank account? Has worry ever healed a sickness? Has worry ever made a closed door suddenly swing open? Worry does nothing but drain your energy, steal your joy, and keep you stuck in a cycle of doubt and fear. Worry keeps you busy, but it never moves you forward. It is like sitting in a rocking chair. You are moving, but you are going nowhere. But here's the real issue with worry. It reveals what you believe about the future. You see, when a child is in the hands of a loving parent, they don't worry about where the next meal is coming from. They don't pace the floor wondering if they will have a place to sleep tonight. Why? Because they trust that their parent already has it covered. So why is it that we trust human beings more than the one who created us? Why is it that we can put our faith in a paycheck, in a job, in a relationship, but when it comes to our future, we question whether there is a plan? Some of you wake up every morning with anxiety in your heart, worrying about things that are already in the process of working themselves out. You are trying to control things that were never meant for you to control. You are fighting battles that have already been won. And every day, you carry the weight of uncertainty on your shoulders, thinking that somehow your stress will change the outcome. But let me ask you, what if you actually believed that your future was secure? What if you truly trusted that everything was already planned? How much peace would you have? How much joy would return to your life? How much more energy would you have if you stopped wasting it on fear? Imagine you are sitting in the passenger seat of a car. The driver knows exactly where you are going, has the map, and is fully in control. But instead of resting, you keep grabbing the wheel, trying to turn it, panicking over every turn, slamming an imaginary brake, shouting directions. The driver is calm, but you are in full panic mode, acting as if you know the road better than the one who is driving. That is exactly how many of us live. We are passengers in life, but we act like we are the ones in control. And the truth is, our constant worry is proof that we don't trust the journey. Some of you have been waiting for a breakthrough, but because it hasn't happened on your timeline, you have started to question everything. You have started to doubt whether things will ever change. But what if I told you that the delay is not denial? What if I told you that the very thing you are worrying about has already been resolved? You just haven't seen the answer yet. What if I told you that what looks like a setback is actually a setup for something greater? Would you stop worrying then? Think about a farmer. He plants seeds in the ground, waters them, and then he waits. He does not dig up the soil every day to see if the seed is growing. He does not panic because he cannot see the roots taking shape beneath the surface. He knows that growth is happening, even when it is invisible to the eye. Some of you are panicking because you don't see the result yet, but that does not mean nothing is happening. Just because you don't see the movement doesn't mean the process is not unfolding. Worry is like standing over a seed and yelling at it to grow. It is like checking the soil every 5 minutes and wondering why you don't see a harvest. But trust is watering the seed, walking away, and knowing that in the right season, it will grow. Look back over your life. There were moments when you thought you wouldn't make it, but here you are. There were situations that you thought would break you, but you survived. There were doors that closed, and you thought it was the end, but later you realized that rejection was actually protection. If you could just pause and reflect on how far you have come, you would realize that worrying was a waste of time. The same way you made it through before, you will make it through again. The same way a way was made before, a way will be made again. The same way things worked out before, they will work out again. You do not have to figure everything out. You do not have to have all the answers. You do not have to stress yourself over things that are beyond your control. The plan is already in motion. The path is already designed. Your future is already secure. All you have to do is trust the process. Some of you are waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the fear to go away before you start trusting. But that is not how trust works. Trust is a choice. Trust is a decision. Trust means saying, I don't see the full picture, but I believe that it is already complete. Trust means releasing control and choosing peace instead of panic. Trust means knowing that no matter what happens, no matter what things look like, the plan is already set and nothing can stop what has already been written. So today, make the decision. Will you continue to worry about things that are already handled? Will you continue to waste your energy on fear? Or will you finally choose trust over stress, peace over panic, and faith over worry? Because the truth is, your future is not uncertain. The only thing uncertain is whether you will choose to believe it. Delays are not denials. Have you ever felt like you were stuck in a waiting room of life? Like you were standing in line, watching everyone else move forward while you remain in the same place. You applied for the job, but they haven't called back. You prayed for the breakthrough, But nothing has changed. You invested your time, your effort, your energy, and yet the results seem invisible. You ask yourself, why is it taking so long? Let me tell you something that will set you free. A delay does not mean denial. Just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't happen. Just because the door hasn't opened yet doesn't mean it's locked. Some of you are frustrated because your timeline doesn't match the divine timeline. You think that because it hasn't happened when you expected it to, it must not be happening at all. But what if I told you that the delay is actually working in your favor? Think about a cake in the oven. The baker has already prepared the ingredients, set the temperature, and placed the cake inside the bake. Now imagine if the cake had feelings and started panicking inside the oven. It's too hot in here! Why am I in this fire? Why isn't the baker taking me out yet? But the baker knows what the cake doesn't know. The cake is not ready yet. If the baker takes it out too soon, it will be half-baked, unfinished, and unprepared for its purpose. The heat is not there to destroy the cake. The heat is there to prepare it. And that is exactly how life works. Some of you are sitting in the heat. You're thinking you have been forgotten. You feel like you are waiting longer than everyone else. You are looking at other people's success, their opportunities, their progress, and you are wondering, why not me? But let me tell you, the longer the preparation, the greater the result. If you take something out of the process too soon, it won't be ready for what it was meant to become. Some doors are not opening yet because you are not ready to walk through them. Some blessings are not arriving yet because you are not prepared to handle them. Some relationships haven't happened yet because you are still being shaped into the person who can sustain them. Look at bamboo. Most plants sprout in a few weeks, but bamboo takes 5 years just to break the ground. For 5 years, nothing appears on the surface. No visible growth, no signs of progress. But underneath the soil, the roots are growing deep, expanding, strengthening. Then, when the time is right, the bamboo suddenly shoots up 90 feet in just 6 weeks. The question is, did it grow in 6 weeks? Or did it grow in 5 years? Some of you are in your 5-year phase. You feel like nothing is happening. You see no results. But beneath the surface, something powerful is taking place. You are growing roots. You are developing character. You are being shaped into the person you need to be for what is coming next. And when the time is right, what seemed impossible will happen in an instant. But here's the problem. Many people give up before the breakthrough. They walk away from the process because they don't see results. They think the silence means they have been forgotten. They think the waiting means they have been denied. But listen to me, waiting is not wasting. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Think about a mother carrying a child. For 9 months, she doesn't see the baby outside of her body. She can't hold it. She can't see it. She can't hear its voice. But she knows that something is growing inside of her. She doesn't panic just because she doesn't see the baby yet. She doesn't assume that nothing is happening. Why? Because growth happens in the unseen first. You must trust the process, even when you cannot see the progress. Some of you are frustrated because you're stuck in traffic in life. You're trying to move forward, but the road is blocked. You want to speed ahead, but the timing isn't right. But what if the delay is protecting you from something you don't even know about? What if the traffic is actually preventing an accident ahead that you could not see? Sometimes a delay is actually divine protection. What looks like a roadblock is really a rerouting to something better. What feels like rejection is actually redirection. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to see the whole plan. You just have to trust that the delay is not a punishment. It is preparation. The waiting is not about keeping you from your destiny. It is about making sure you are ready for your destiny. Because what good is a blessing if you are not ready to handle it? What good is an opportunity if you are not prepared to keep it? So stop fighting the process. Stop trying to rush things that were never meant to be rushed. Stop looking at your neighbor's success and thinking that your story should look the same. The greatest things in life take time to develop. Diamonds don't form in an instant. They are created under pressure over years. Oak trees don't grow overnight. They take decades to become strong. Your delay is not your denial, it is your development. When a plane is delayed on the runway, passengers become frustrated. They check their watches. They sigh loudly. They complain to the flight attendants. But what they don't realize is that the delay is usually for their own safety. Maybe the weather isn't right. Maybe there's a maintenance issue. Maybe another plane is in the way. But the pilot is not going to take off until the conditions are right, because a rushed takeoff can lead to disaster. And that is exactly why some things have not happened for you yet. You think you are ready, but the conditions are not yet aligned. You want to take off, but there are things that must be cleared first. You feel stuck, but in reality, you are just being positioned for a safe and powerful flight. So do not mistake the delay for denial. Do not let impatience make you abandon the process. Do not allow frustration to convince you that nothing is happening. The very thing you are waiting for is already in motion. You just haven't seen it yet. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust that the waiting is working in your favor. Because when the time is right, everything will happen faster than you ever imagined. Trusting God requires letting go. Some people think that trusting means holding on tighter. They think that if they just try harder, if they just push more, if they just keep their grip firm, everything will work out. But true trust is the opposite. Trust is not holding on. It is letting go. Trust is not forcing things to happen. It is surrendering the need to control them. Imagine you are carrying a heavy bag. You've been carrying it for so long that your arms are tired, your shoulders are itching, and your back is about to give out. You are exhausted. You know the bag is weighing you down, but for some reason, you refuse to let it go. Maybe you think that if you carry it long enough, you will figure out what to do with it. Maybe you think that if you just keep pushing, everything will fall into place. But the truth is, the longer you carry it, the more exhausted you become. Some of you are walking through life carrying burdens that were never meant for you. You are holding on to stress, to fear, to anxiety, to things that are too heavy for you to bear. You wake up every morning with a weight on your chest, as if the whole world is resting on your shoulders. But let me ask you, who told you that you had to carry it? Who told you that the outcome of your life depends on your ability to figure everything out? Who told you that you are responsible for solving every problem on your own? You see, letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of trust. When you release control, you are saying, I believe that I am not in this alone. I believe that I am being guided. I believe that everything is already under control. Think about a trapeze artist. When they let go of one bar, they have to trust that the next one will be there in time. They don't hang on for dear life, afraid to take the leap. They don't hesitate, wondering if they will fall. They let go with confidence, knowing that their timing is aligned with something greater. That is what trust looks like. It is knowing that even if you can't see the next step, it will appear when you need it. Some of you are afraid to let go because you don't know what's next. You are afraid to walk away from the job that drains you because you don't see another opportunity yet. You are afraid to release that toxic relationship because you don't know if you will find love again. You are afraid to step into the unknown because you are still clinging to what is familiar. But here's the truth. As long as your hands are full of the past, you cannot receive the future. As long as you are gripping what is, you cannot embrace what will be. Let me put it this way. Imagine someone is trying to give you a gift, but your hands are already full of old things. You can't take the new gift because you refuse to put down what you're already holding. Some of you are wondering why nothing new is coming into your life, why you feel stuck, why you feel like nothing is changing. But the question is, what are you still holding on to that is preventing you from receiving what is next? Trust means releasing control. It means saying, I don't have to know the whole plan. I just have to take the next step. It means understanding that some things are beyond your control, and that is okay. It means believing that even when you can't see the way is already prepared. Think about a GPS. When you enter a destination, the GPS doesn't give you the entire route all at once. It tells you one step at a time. It says, turn left in 500 meters, or take the next exit. But if you refuse to follow the first instruction, you will never reach your destination. The GPS doesn't get frustrated with you. It doesn't cancel your route. It simply recalculates and gives you a new path. Some of you are waiting for the entire roadmap of your life before you take the first step. But that's not how trust works. Trust means following the first instruction, even when you don't know what comes next. Trust means believing that even if you take a wrong turn, you will be rerouted to where you are meant to be. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means giving into the process. It means releasing the need to control every detail. It means understanding that you are not in charge of making everything happen. You are simply in charge of showing up and being ready. It means walking forward with confidence. Knowing that even when you can't see the whole staircase, the next step will always be there when you need it. Some of you have been trying to control things that were never meant to be controlled by you. You are trying to force open doors that were never meant for you. You are trying to make things happen in your own strength, and it's leaving you frustrated, tired, and overwhelmed. But let me tell you something. What is meant for you will not pass you by. What is written for you cannot be erased. What is planned for you is already secured. When you let go, you are making room for something greater. You are making space for peace, for clarity, for new opportunities, for new doors to open. You are freeing yourself from the burden of having to figure everything out on your own. You are stepping into a place of trust, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it is meant to. So stop fighting battles that are not yours to fight. Stop carrying burdens that are too heavy for you. Stop trying to control things that are already in the process of working themselves out. Let go of fear. Let go of doubt. Let go of the need to know every detail before you move forward. Trust that the next step will appear when you need it. Trust that the path is already set. Trust that you are right where you need to be, and everything is happening in perfect timing. Worry weakens, but trust strengthens worry as a thief. It sneaks into your mind, takes your peace, and leaves behind fear, doubt, and stress. It does not solve anything. It does not change the outcome. It does not make tomorrow any easier. Worry only drains you, distracts you, and robs you of the strength you need to move forward. Have you ever spent an entire night worrying about something only to wake up and realize nothing changed? Except that now you are even more exhausted. You see, worry tricks you into believing that if you think about a problem long enough, you will somehow fix it. But in reality, all worry does is weaken your mind, your spirit, and your ability to focus on the things that actually matter. Imagine a person trying to run a marathon while carrying a heavy backpack full of bricks. Every step becomes harder. Every mile feels longer. And eventually they collapse. Not because they couldn't reach the finish line, but because they were carrying a weight they were never meant to carry. That is exactly what worry does to you. It makes every step feel heavier. It turns simple decisions into overwhelming burdens. It slows you down, wears you out, and keeps you from reaching your full potential. But trust strengthens you. Trust is like running that same marathon without the weight. It doesn't mean there won't be obstacles. It doesn't mean you won't have challenges along the way. But it does mean that you are moving forward with confidence instead of fear, with purpose instead of panic, with clarity instead of chaos. Think about a tree planted by a river. No matter how strong the wind blows, no matter how intense the storm gets, the tree does not panic. Why? Because its roots are deep. It knows that even in the harshest conditions, it is connected to a source that will sustain it. When you trust, you are like that tree. Life may shake you. Storms may come. Unexpected challenges may arise. But you remain strong because you know that your foundation is secure. Some people spend their entire lives worrying about things that will never happen. They wake up every morning expecting something to go wrong. They live in constant fear of failure, rejection, or disappointment. But let me ask you, has worrying ever changed the outcome of anything? Has worrying ever made a problem disappear? Has worrying ever added peace to your life? Think about a child learning to walk. They take a few steps, stumble and fall. But do they give up? No. They get back up, try again, and keep moving forward. Why? Because they are not worried about failing. They trust the process. They don't sit in a corner saying, "What if I never learn to walk?" Or, "What if I fall again?" No. They simply keep trying, knowing that each step brings them closer to success. Now, imagine if adults lived with that same mindset. Imagine if, instead of worrying about what could go wrong, you focused on moving forward. Imagine if, instead of being afraid of failure, you saw it as part of the journey. Imagine if, instead of letting worry control you, you made the decision to trust that everything is working out in your favor. Worry is like driving a car with the emergency brake on. You can press the gas all you want, but you will never reach your full speed because something is holding you back. Trust is releasing that brake and allowing yourself to move forward freely. Some of you are so used to worrying that you don't know what life feels like without it. You have convinced yourself that if you don't worry, you are being irresponsible. But let me tell you something. Trust is not irresponsibility. Trust is wisdom. Trust means knowing when to take action and when to let go. Trust means understanding that some things are beyond your control, and stressing over them will not change anything. Think about a pilot flying a plane. If there is turbulence, the passengers might panic, but the pilot remains calm. Why? Because the pilot knows that turbulence is just part of the journey. The plane is still on course. The destination has not changed. Some of you are experiencing turbulence in life, and you are acting like the plane is about to crash. But if you could just trust the process, you would realize that this is just a temporary moment. You are still on the right path. You don't have to know all the answers. You don't have to have every detail figured out. You just have to trust that you are being guided. You just have to believe that even when things don't make sense, they are still working in your favor. Worry weakens, but trust strengthens. Worry steals your energy, but trust gives you peace. Worry keeps you stuck, but trust moves you forward. So which one will you choose? Your problems are not bigger than your purpose. There are moments in life when problems seem overwhelming. You wake up in the morning, and before you even get out of bed, your mind is already racing with thoughts of everything that's going wrong. The bills are piling up. The opportunities seem scarce. The people you counted on have disappeared. The obstacles in front of you look too big to conquer. You feel stuck, helpless, and defeated before the day has even begun. But what if I told you that your problems are not bigger than your purpose? What if I told you that what you are facing right now is not here to destroy you, but to develop you? Imagine an eagle soaring high above the mountains. It is not afraid of the storm. In fact, the eagle welcomes the wind because it knows something that most people don't. It is the very storm that lifts the eagle higher. while other birds hide, while other creatures run for shelter. The eagle spreads its wings and allows the storm to carry it above the clouds. Some of you have been trying to escape the storm when you were meant to rise above it. Some of you have been running from the very thing that was designed to take you to the next level. Think about a diamond. It starts as a simple piece of coal, dark and fragile. But when it is placed under intense heat and pressure, something amazing happens. The coal transforms into one of the most valuable and beautiful substances on earth. The pressure did not destroy it. The pressure created it. Some of you are feeling the weight of pressure in your life right now. You feel like you are being crushed by circumstances, by difficulties, by unexpected struggles. But let me tell you something. This pressure is not meant to break you. It is meant to build you. You are in the process of becoming something greater than you ever imagined. The problem is not bigger than your purpose. The pressure is part of the process. When a seed is planted in the ground, it does not instantly become a tree. First, it must go through the darkness. It must be buried. It must be covered. It must push through the dirt. Some of you feel buried right now. You feel like life has covered you up, like you are stuck in a place where no one sees you, no one notices you, and no progress seems to be happening. But hear me, you are not buried, you are planted. And when the time is right, you will break through the soil and you will grow into something greater than you ever thought possible. Imagine a weightlifter in the gym. They do not build muscle by lifting what is easy. They do not grow stronger by staying comfortable. No, they lift heavy weights. They push themselves. They feel the resistance. And that resistance is what builds their strength. The problems you are facing right now are not here to weaken you. They are your training ground. Every struggle, every challenge, every hardship is adding to your strength, preparing you for the next level. Some of you are looking at the size of your problem and thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. But the size of your problem is a sign of the size of your purpose. Have you ever noticed that the greatest people in history all faced great opposition? The strongest leaders, the most successful visionaries, the most influential world changers, they all had to fight through challenges that seemed impossible. Why? Because greatness is always tested. You do not become great by having an easy life. You become great by overcoming great obstacles. Think about a ship sailing on the ocean. When the waves rise, when the storm comes, the ship does not panic. It does not turn back. It was built for this. Some of you need to realize you were built for this. The challenges you are facing may feel overwhelming, but you were designed to withstand them. You were created with everything you need to overcome. The storm is not a sign that you are in the wrong place. The storm is a sign that you are on the way to something greater. A butterfly cannot fly unless it first struggles to break free from the cocoon. If someone tries to help it, if someone cuts the cocoon open too soon, the butterfly will never develop the strength it needs to fly. Some of you are in a cocoon season. It feels tight. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like you are stuck. But what you don't realize is that this struggle is building your wings. What you are going through right now is strengthening you for the purpose ahead. Every problem has an expiration date. Every storm eventually passes. Every night is followed by the morning. But the question is, will you let this season break you, or will you let it build you? Will you let the pressure turn you into a diamond? Will you let the storm lift you like an eagle? Will you push through the soil and grow into something unstoppable? Because the problem is not bigger than your purpose. It never was. It never will be. You are too valuable to be forgotten. There are moments when you feel invisible. You feel like no one sees you, like no one truly understands the weight you carry every day. You wake up, go through the motions, do what you need to do, but deep down, there is this lingering question in your heart. Does anyone really care? Am I truly valuable? Do I even matter? Life has a way of making people feel forgotten. You pour your heart into relationships, yet people walk away. You give your best at work, but your efforts go unnoticed. You fight battles no one sees, and yet it feels like no one is fighting for you. You start to wonder if your presence even makes a difference, if your voice even matters, if your dreams are worth chasing anymore. But let me tell you something. Just because people overlook you does not mean you are not valuable. Just because you have been ignored does not mean you are not important. Just because you have been pushed aside does not mean you are forgotten. Imagine a $100 bill. If I crumple it, does it lose its value? If I throw it on the ground and step on it, does it become worthless? No. No matter how much it has been through, its value remains the same. Some of you have been crumpled by life. You have been stepped on by people who didn't appreciate you. You have been thrown aside like you didn't matter. But listen, your value has not changed. What you have been through does not define who you are. Think about a seed. It starts as something small, something that seems insignificant. When it is placed in the soil, it is buried, covered in darkness, unseen by the world. But just because no one sees the seed does not mean it is not growing. Just because it is hidden does not mean it has been forgotten. Some of you feel like that seed right now. You feel buried, overlooked, like nothing is happening in your life. But what you don't realize is that you are in a season of preparation. You are not buried, you are planted. And when the time is right, you will rise. Some of the greatest people in history were once overlooked. They were rejected. They were doubted. They were told they would never succeed. But their value was not in the opinions of others. It was in who they were created to be. Think about a diamond. Before it becomes something beautiful, it is just a rough piece of coal. It does not shine. It does not sparkle. It does not look valuable. But under pressure, under intense heat, that coal transforms into one of the most precious and sought after gems in the world. The pressure did not destroy it. The pressure revealed its value. Some of you are going through a season of pressure. You feel like you are being crushed under the weight of your problems, under the expectations of others, under the disappointments of life. But hear me. This pressure is not here to break you. It is here to reveal you. There is something precious inside of you, something the world needs, something that cannot be seen until you go through the process. Think about a sculptor working on a masterpiece. He takes a block of stone and begins to chip away at it. Every strike of the hammer, every cut of the chisel removes something unnecessary. The process is not gentle. The process is not easy. But with every piece that falls away, the masterpiece begins to emerge. Some of you are in that process right now. You feel like you are being chipped away, like parts of your life are falling apart, like nothing is making sense. But what if I told you that this is not destruction? This is creation. You are not being broken down, you are being refined. The world may not always recognize your worth. People may overlook you, misunderstand you, reject you. But that does not change your value. A diamond does not beg people to see its worth. It simply shines. A masterpiece does not ask for approval. It simply stands in its greatness. You do not need the validation of others to be valuable. You do not need everyone to see you in order to be important. You are already enough. You are already worthy. You are already significant. Think about a candle in a dark room. It does not need permission to shine. It does not wait for others to notice before it brings light. It simply does what it was created to do. Some of you have been waiting for someone to acknowledge you, to validate you, to tell you that you matter. But you don't have to wait for permission to shine. You don't have to wait for someone to see your value before you believe in yourself. You were created with purpose. You were designed to make an impact. And whether people recognize it or not, you are too valuable to be forgotten. You have spent too much of your life worrying about things that were never meant to define you. You have allowed fear to sit in the driver's seat, steering you away from the destiny you were meant to step into. You have carried burdens that were never yours to bear, replaying past failures, overthinking future challenges, and exhausting yourself in the process. But enough is enough. It is time to stop worrying and start trusting. It is time to step out of fear and into faith. It is time to walk as if you truly believe that your life has purpose, that your struggles are not wasted, and that your setbacks are simply setups for something greater. Worry is nothing but wasted energy. It is the act of suffering in your mind over things that have not even happened yet. It is fear dressed as responsibility. It convinces you that if you don't stress about it, you are not prepared. But listen, preparation and panic are not the same thing. Trust does not mean you do nothing. Trust means you do your part and then release what you cannot control. Imagine you are in a boat rowing across a river. If you keep looking back at the shore, you will never reach the other side. If you keep worrying about the waves, you will never move forward. Worry is the anchor that keeps you stuck. Trust is the wind that pushes you toward your destination. You cannot hold on to both at the same time. You must choose. Some of you have been sitting in the same place for too long, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for all the answers, waiting for every detail to make sense before you move. But let me tell you something. Faith does not wait for all the details to be clear. Faith moves even when the road ahead is uncertain. Faith walks forward even when fear whispers. What if it doesn't work? Faith shouts back. What if it does? Look at the great visionaries, the world changers, the people who rose from nothing and built something extraordinary. They did not have all the answers when they started. They did not wait for guarantees. They did not let worry keep them from taking the first step. They trusted that if they kept moving, the path would unfold before them. A lion does not wake up wondering if it is strong enough to hunt. A river does not question whether it should keep flowing. The sun does not hesitate before rising. They simply do what they were created to do. And you were not created to live in fear. You were not designed to shrink in the face of adversity. You were built to rise. You were made to conquer. You were destined to make an impact. Let go of the need to control every outcome. Let go of the fear of failing. Let go of the doubt that whispers, maybe I am not enough. You are more than enough. You are capable of more than you can even imagine. You have survived every hardship that was meant to break you. You have overcome battles that others never even saw. And if you made it through that, you will make it through this. You are standing at the edge of something great, but you must decide, will you step forward in trust? Or will you stay behind in fear? Will you embrace the journey? Or will you let worry keep you in the same place? The choice is yours. The clock is ticking. The days are passing. The opportunities are waiting. But time will not wait for you to stop worrying. The moment is now. The time is now. Your future is waiting for you to believe in it. Your destiny is waiting for you to trust the process. Your purpose is waiting for you to step into it. So stand tall, breathe deep, and take the step. Not because you have all the answers, not because you have it all figured out, but because you refuse to let worry steal another second of the life you were born to live.